Larry back with you again, and I certainly do appreciate you joining us on the channel today. You may be wondering why we're just now getting out a video for this week. This past Saturday, I was down at the barn here on the phone with Patrick, our son, and we were discussing putting down some of this laminate flooring. And I noticed Jenny came out on the deck 2 or 3 times, and I just thought she was checking on the phone call with Patrick and seeing how that was going. But when I finished the phone call with Patrick, which was quite a while later, you may have noticed, but I carry a radio when I'm working outside, and she has one in the house so we can communicate with each other. And so when I got off the phone again, I called her, and by the way, we've got a new addition to the farm. I'll show you a picture here on the screen. Her name's Marley Beck, and she's an Australian Shepherd, and she's about 9 weeks old. So you can imagine what we're going through with her. But anyway, I called Jenny and I said, how are you and the little darling doing? And the only response I got was, you need to come up here. And I said, what's wrong? And she said, you just need to come up here. And so I can't run as fast as I used to, but I ran as fast as I could and got upstairs, and she was in front of the kitchen sink doing like this. And I said, babe, what's wrong? And she said, I'm having some terrible pain in my chest. And so I started to call 911, and she said, no, I just want you to take my blood pressure. And I said, no, we're headed to the emergency room. I'm going to get the car, and I'll either meet you out front or I'll come back in and get you, but we're going to the emergency room. So we went to the local emergency room, and they started checking all of her vitals, did some blood work, and the enzyme levels were normal. But the doctor said, I want to keep her for observation for maybe 6 or 8 hours and just see how the vital signs do. And that was about 10:30, so about 1:30 they did another test, blood test, and the enzyme level had elevated. So the doctor said that's a sign that either something has happened or something is happening. So of course that made us that much more uneasy. And he said, we're going to transport you to Florence, Alabama. They have a room up there in the cardiac care area. And so we made preparations to make that trip. Well, in a few minutes they came back and said that room had fallen through. You know, there's a nurse shortage or a staffing shortage. So they told us that room had fallen through, and they were sending us to Tupelo, Mississippi. So the ambulance came, transported Jenny to Tupelo to the cardiac observation unit at North Mississippi Medical Center in Tupelo, Mississippi. So they kept her monitored the rest of that afternoon. They put her on a nitroglycerin drip, and with plans to do a heart cath the next morning. And so because of the new puppy, I came back home, and I told them whenever I left, I said, y'all take care of her. And so I got back over there about 7 o'clock in the morning. That was on Sunday morning, and they had already prepped her for a heart cath, and they took her down. And in a few minutes, seemed like forever, but it was about 45 minutes. I got a phone call from Dr. Williams that did the heart cath, and he said, well, everything looked okay. We didn't have to do a stent. There was no major blockage. But he said what we did find is that one of the arteries, there's 3, that feed the heart basically. And the one here on the front, as it goes down, it gets smaller. He said we certainly could have been what had caused the attack. And so long story short, they sent us home that afternoon with a big total regimen of heart medication. They've got her on a cholesterol, Lipitor, and they've also got her on Imdor, which is a after heart attack type medication. And there's two more, and I'm not aware of I don't remember the names of those. But anyway, today was her first day on all those medications. And so I basically stayed here and did a little work and monitored her under those medications. So she seems to be doing fine. The doctor said that particular artery is not stentable, so they want to try, of course, treating it, and think they can treat it with medically or medicine. And so we're on this new regimen of medicine for her. So that's what happened last weekend. It was a terrible scare for us, and she seems to be doing fine now. And I just would ask you to keep her in your thoughts and prayers as she continues to recover from this. But anyway, what I'm going to work on out here today is just cutting the support post off. I may try to get one of the cross beams up on the front of the shed, but just doing something out here, working a little bit with my regular job on the inside, and monitoring her, taking care of her, and trying to watch and make sure that she doesn't have any adverse reaction to the medication. So come on and join us for this video. I really do appreciate it. What I'm doing right now is determining a level point on all of the support posts, and then I can measure up the distance that I need to cut each one of them off. That should give us a level point, and now we can measure up and start over here, see what we need to cut this one off. Then we'll cut all four of the front. Go back here to the back, see what that needs to be. That one needs to be cut off. Then we'll cut all three of the back off the same distance. The real reason that I'm wearing a mask while I'm cutting off these support posts, if you recall, I milled these posts from those utility poles that I got from Alabama Power, and the ones on the front side here are the creosoted poles, and the ones on the back are the CCA treated poles. So I just didn't want to be breathing any of the dust from either one of these support posts that I was cutting here at this time. The holes that you can see in these posts are holes that were there as part of the pole support system or the cross member support system. This was where some of the bolts went through, and because these are full 6x6 posts, the holes in them don't affect the integrity of the pole as far as the support is concerned. These support beams were milled from the same utility poles, and in fact they are the same width as the support posts. They're 6 inches. They're a full 2 inches by 6 inches, and were just part of the milling process prior to getting to the main 6x6 posts themselves. the top of this support post was angled in a little bit at the top, so what I'm doing here is pulling it out so that it's even with the end or flush with the end of the support beam. Well, folks, I believe I'm going to wrap up this video today. I want to thank you so much for joining us here on St. Nick's Farms. I do want to ask you to be sure and subscribe to our channel. If you haven't already, if you're coming back and you're already a subscriber, I really do appreciate it. But if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and as always, share it with a friend. So until next time, folks, this is Larry. I hope you have a great one. I'll see you. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.